Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm Dave Carson. I'm your host tonight for our podcast, Chat with a Therapist. And boy, have I got someone interesting on tonight in the way of Siobhan herself. Siobhan is a quantum consciousness healer and guide, and she's heavily connected to light language. And she also creates light language essences. So without further ado, let's bring Siobhan on to talk about light language. Woohoo!
Hello, Dave, and hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. If you've tuned in, I'm sure we'll get people tuning in fairly soon.
Yeah.
We did have a technical problem before we come on, but we sorted it, so that's all good. So, Siobhan, what a joy to have you on the a chat with a therapist. It's exciting because light language is something that a lot of people are not sure about. It comes across maybe a little bit unusual, especially when you do transmissions and stuff. So could you tell us how you sort of got involved in it?
Yeah, sure. So I was already a healer. I started my journey out as a homeopath and added lots of different modalities. And I was actually in New Zealand. I was living in New Zealand, and one night I was listening to a webinar, and Jamie Price came on the webinar. This guy called Brian DeFlores, who I don't know where he is these days. He did a bit of light language himself. He used to create these beautiful graphics. But this particular night, he invited Jamie Price on, and I didn't know what to expect at all. And he said, she's going to share some light language with you. And I couldn't see her because it was in those days, Dave, when you didn't have the screen, you could just hear the voices.
Yeah.
She started to share light language. And my heart just went, oh, wow, bang. Oh, like what? It just really opened up.
You connected with it big time, yeah?
Really connected with it. And I just, at that moment, I just knew that that's what I was here to do as well. And I think at that point was actually a little activation that happened. So it accessed some part of me. And then I started playing with it and thought it was going a bit crazy, which is quite normal, I think, for a lot of people, especially if the mind gets in the way, as it does. It's like, I remember it was almost like I said to one of my friends, God, I think I'm going a bit nuts, because I was practicing and I was making this noise. And I literally allowed my ego to shut it down for a while until I came back to England. And then I was I was working with some of my clients, and then I knew it wanted to come through. So I just practiced and practiced and practiced until I felt comfortable with it. And effectively, I think I felt comfortable with it because I then shifted out of my head and into my heart and just stopped the questioning and just went with it from there. So that's a long time ago now. So yeah.
Wow. It sounds incredible. I love it when people come on the podcast and they have these moments for particular things, and it sort of changes their life. They go on a different path. So for the unfamiliar to light language, what is it exactly? What is it? I know it's a big question.
Okay. It's all right. It's a big question, and I think did we call this demystifying light language, Dave? Did you call it?
We did.
So my intention is to make it simple for you, not being patronising, but it is quite a lot for you for people to understand. So it's a multi-dimensional form of communication, and it communicates, it interacts with your heart, with your soul, with your higher mind. So how I'm speaking now, this is linear language. So I'm speaking to Dave and I'm speaking to all of you out there. Your mind's very much involved in understanding the words that I'm saying. So you're processing it on that level. Light language is entirely different. So it's accessing a greater part of you, if you like. And it's an energy that I always guide people to feel it. Don't try to figure it out with your head. Don't try to understand what the words are and see if you can make some sense. You have to feel it here. And so it's a stream of sound and light frequencies. And It can be sung, it can be spoken, it can be toned, written, painted. I do all of that. I do all of that now, and I kind of dance it a bit.
I'm looking forward to seeing one of your pictures a bit later.
Yeah. And I do it, and really, it's a part of me, and there'll be other people out there the same. That it's very much a part of me. So I'm kind of I'm expressing light language even silently, so telepathically. So when all this energy comes in, so it comes into your field, it contains codes of light. That's where the light language, the name, comes from. And you will hear that, you'll see that a lot on social media now, people talking about codes of light and so on. Mm-hmm. That means there are packets. It's like packets of information, of divine intelligence, and that and wisdom as well. So there's like lots and lots of information within those packets, and then it comes into your field, and then your higher aspects take that energy, filter it so that you receive exactly what you need at that moment in time. But it goes really, it's very much, most people feel it here really initially. And it activates a remembrance. So very, very often when people experience light language for the first time, they're brought to tears. That's what I've seen in my practice. And the heart's opening up, and there's some part deep within the soul, or within the soul journey, on earth and out there in the stars, that it's being switched on. So, and for people who are perhaps a little bit closed down, so their heart centers are a bit of closed for whatever reason, that sometimes happens through grief and shock and trauma, the light languages begin to lower those layers, those barriers, so they can let more love in and love out as well. There's much more I could say here. Does that make sense to you, what I've just said?
Absolutely. It's very, very beautiful as well. I love the way with a transmission, your higher mind takes what it needs from it. Because obviously, if it maybe took all of it, it'd be too much or whatever, possibly. Where did it? Have you got any idea where it originated from? Then, like, obviously, I'm not sure. That's why I'm asking.
There's no one place. There are different. As I said to you, there's different forms of light language. I said you're speaking,
yeah, of course, yeah,
and all of that. And it's language from the stars, really, but it's also languages that have been spoken on the earth before, and even language that will be spoken in the future. So it's almost like when I'm transmitting light language, I'm almost a bridge between the cosmos and here. So some people, they will hear or feel into light language, and they might recognize like a Pleiadian communication or Lyran or Arcturian or whatever it may be. But I also know that and some of my light language will be light language that the wisdom keepers of the earth spoke and speak. So like Navajo, for example, and also Lemurian light language. So that's kind of, it's a whole mix. And sometimes the whole thing can be the way that I work, it can be a whole combination of that. So, but these will be, it's a form of communication that I would say practically everybody on the planet knows, because we're all much more than just this. We're multidimensional beings. So we've been here, there, and everywhere. And okay. That comes up really.
Louisa, good question. I was going to ask that one. You did it for me. Thank you.
Yeah, it's thank you, Louisa. It's somebody else said this the other day. It's a bit like speaking in tongues, but my sense with speaking in tongues, it's an older energy. We're in a very, very different time now. In fact, the vibration on the planet is entirely different. So some people could correct me if I'm wrong. I feel it was more a communication from spirit that have passed. It's more that speaking in tongues, for my understanding and my feeling, it's much more an earthly communication, whereas light language is literally from the stars.
It's interesting because my question was, how does it differ from mantras, and speaking in tongues, which I didn't actually associate with light language. It's pretty
Yeah.
much what you said there. I've got to ask you, right? When you did your very first transmission with somebody, how did that go? Were they like, wow?
Yeah, I remember. Actually, it was.
Yeah.
I used to work with a couple when I was in Essex, and the lady used to come to me quite often. And this particular day, her husband came, so he was his first session with me, and he lay down on the bed, and I thought, oh, he's got to freak out. He didn't. Because he loved it. He absolutely loved it. And he was, I mean, I don't remember exactly what happened now. But he was obviously ready for it, Dave. And so, yeah, no, it went really well. I mean, I set up a YouTube channel a long time ago. And at that point, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I just got this guidance. You just need to get it out into the world. You know, and I guess it's easier behind a camera, but, you know, also they would have brought up a lot at that time, you know, those feelings of rejection or being seen to be some crazy woman, you know, but I did it anyway. So
good for you. And that's what you have to do sometimes, isn't it? You just got to do it, you know. And obviously you were being possibly pushed, you know, to get that confidence and everything to do it. How could like in respect to light language, can anybody tune into this? Is it like a skill? Is it something that your natural ability, like you're born with or something, or you just happen to be connected with a particular frequency? And so what I'm saying is, people that are watching this and quite interested in it, you know, can other people do it, do you think?
Absolutely. Lots. I mean, if I go back to when I very first started speaking light language, there weren't that many people around. If I would just look at social media, there weren't that many people transmitting light language. Now there are hundreds and thousands. I feel it's something that's part of you. So it can be dormant. So light language, it activates your DNA, or the DNA that's sleeping, just resting. And that for some people that will happen. It happens naturally because obviously there's so much more light on the planet, and other people need some help with it. So I activate people to bring that through.
Okay, so you can in a way sort of help, not train them, but activate them.
Activate, yeah, because I don't. It's for me. It's not like teaching you Spanish or French or something. Yeah, exactly. Because you've got it. You have it all within you. Yes. I'm an activator anyway. I just switch things on in people, and sometimes that can just happen by me being.
I must admit, I did have everyone that's watching. I did have a session with Siobhan, and it was really interesting. I actually really enjoyed it. I'm one of these people that have quite high energy and quite joyful and happy, and I don't have an awful lot of crap going on in my life, and if I do, I don't see it like that anyway. So it's like when I go on courses and I try things, you know, it's interesting anyway. But I really did enjoy it, and there was a few things that we did that have actually happened, which is quite interesting. And when you were speaking in the light language itself, I found that really, really interesting. It does touch you a little bit. It's incredible, and I've got to admit, I did try and do a bit. You know.
Do you want to share now?
No. But yeah, but it was good. So I was going to ask you as well, Siobhan. So when you're doing light language, how do you have to ground yourself, or after a transmission, do you have to do anything in particular to, you know,
to start
get yourself grounded, or just to, I guess, because you're communicating with the light language and speaking it, do you have to do anything afterwards, or do you just finish your transmission and all is good? You don't have to.
Yeah, just.
What about preparation for it? Anything like that?
I mean, if I've got a client, so like I did in the Akashic record reading for you that day, didn't I, Dave?
You did.
So I will sit and prepare, make sure I'm grounded and I'm fully
Yeah.
aligned and connected. That's it. And then I just open up to whatever. But I mean, I can just do it I could just go into it now without even, if I'm just with myself, I don't go through any particular procedure or anything. What was I going to say? What I do though is I will set an intention. So it could be that I just set an intention just to settle my body, just to bring in some healing, or perhaps to bring some clarity. And I can do that for other people. So if I do my YouTube channels, I often do a little intro, a ramble sometimes, okay? But I'm just kind of setting the stage. But then I just literally go into, I think just because I'm introducing whatever it is that I'm going to talk about it, that automatically just puts the intention out, and then the light language just comes in. Yeah. But yeah, it's being present and breathing and so on.
Okay. Because I was going to ask you, is light language the language of the soul? And I guess in some respects it is, because like you said, you know, it's all within us to understand, I guess, these transmissions on a deeper level. So and that's where the activation comes in, I guess.
Yeah. And we're moving into very different time, as you know, because, you know, we're on the journey of ascension. So there's just so much breaking down, but there's also much light rising. But we're sort of naturally remembering more of who we are, aren't we? You know? And with that, then the light language can begin to filter through, and we're more accepting of it, because we know that, as I said, we're cosmic beings, every one of us, whether we want to admit it or not, we are. So
absolutely, we certainly are. As I like to say, incredible manifestations of existence.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Someone shouted at me. I know this is a bit.
Okay.
No. Thank you. It's okay. It was just Anthony. Just worried about me, wondering because I'm going off somewhere later. And he thought I was sleeping. So sorry about that, everybody. People that are watching, if you've got any more questions for Siobhan, please put them in the comments, and we'll do our best to answer them, basically. Yeah. So Siobhan. You all right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna look here through some notes I made ages ago to see if there's anything else I can add that that will be helpful for people to know. I tell you, I mean, I said it opens up the heart. It just really opens you up to more of who you are. And the way I work as well with the light language, it can help you access more of who you are, but help you align, move into a higher timeline, you know, move into step up a bit, really. It can help on so many levels, like emotionally, just to give you the courage to step into something more, but also to access gifts and wisdom that you have that you aren't actually aware of, or you suspect are there and you just can't quite grasp it. It will help you to do that.
I love that. I just it fascinates me, the whole thing about it, because it's so unusual, different to most of the things out there, really, especially with the language, because it's, you know, so different and everything. And I love it. It's interesting, actually, because, you know, like, I mean, I'm not 100% sure whether all the history is correct, because that could quite easily be changed, you know. Like 300 years ago, do we really know what happened 400 years ago? Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's interesting. I wonder, as it's going digressing a little bit, so do you think this has been like a long term thing where this thing about helping us as a race of humans to connect with our truer selves more, you know, to discover who we truly are, rather than what we've been conditioned to believe we are?
Mm-hmm.
It's been quite a road, isn't it?
It has been. Yeah. I mean, you and I have been around a long while, so we know how it was. And I think we've had to do a lot of work on ourselves to unravel from that and work out what the truth is. But obviously now there's more light coming in, it's easier. And now you've got the little ones coming in the world, and they just come in and they're just bright beacons of light, but they don't have the distortions. And I sense that they'll be easily able to see them. Whereas those of us that have been around much longer, it was a difficult road, really. But I feel it was how it was always meant to be, because it's only when I mean, I don't know how you were little, Dave, but I just always felt I could feel that, like I was trapped. I felt trapped on some level in this world. It was one of my earliest memories. I mean, it's an illusion, but you know.
It's interesting you say that. When we were younger, we didn't have no internet. We grew up with the TV that was on all the time, pretty much, depending on the family you were born into. Most people watched the telly, and the news was always on. So we didn't, it was incredibly difficult to be open, because we were so sort of in this groove, and it wasn't until I was like a little bit older, like 15, 16, that I guess I became a little bit rebellious, I started to understand in a small way that maybe this isn't the way it's supposed to be, but it took many years after that to really see what's going on. And that's the beautiful thing about now, with the onset of social media. We've got access to everything, haven't we? And there's so much stuff out there that is able to activate people.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got another question here. So that's a question. I tried, Louisa again. Okay, I tried to do this when I was depressed. My adult son thought I was nuts, but I found it really soothing. So,
Good, yeah. That's quite a normal response from people, Louisa. They do think you're nuts. You just, if it's flowing with you, you just do it. Just do it in your own quiet space, when no one's around. If you prefer, just so that you can stay in your zone. But yeah, that's brilliant. It's brilliant.
So what sort of role do you think light language will play going forward in the world, do you think?
Well, I think naturally with time, as things shift more and more and more, we move back away from fear and more into love. I think more people will naturally open up and the light language will come through. I really feel that light language is kind of a catalyst for the journey of ascension. It just helps us, awakes us up to what we are and what is, and to discern the truth more. So I think with what you'll see, Dave, with more time, as time goes on, you'll see more and more people using light language. And I think it's also linked in with their telepathic abilities as well. So, I mean, I don't know if you're noticing, you might probably noticed it for years, that we are becoming more telepathic. Like, we don't really need linear language anymore. We're connecting. But the light language just is amplifying that. And when you do a light language transmission, it affects the people around you, the field around you, but it also goes into the earth as well.
Wow.
So the more people that can transmit light language, the better. Because I call it the language of love. That's what it is. It is love. And
I love that, language of love.
And if you do end up transmitting, your light language will be different to mine, to Louisa's, because we're all unique souls, although we're all interconnected, but we'll have a different expression of it. And that's the wonder of it. I love it, That's what I love about humans. That's what I love about humans as well. Like, we're all different races and different beings, and that's the magic of being here. So I think it's important, and also it's no coincidence that it's the incidence of it is rising.
I was going to say to you, actually, it's becoming more and more popular. Like you said, there's like hundreds of thousands of people doing transmissions now. Whereas back in the day, maybe there was a handful. And
yeah.
so tell us a little bit about your essences you do.
Okay.
You infuse the, I'm guessing you infuse the light language energy into the essences.
That's right. Yeah. What I did with Dave was, because I trained as a homeopath many years ago, like 2002, I think I qualified. So I used my knowledge of homeopathy with the light language. I brought the two together. But I got a message, like, it was not long after I started practicing light language all those years ago. I got a message that you need to make some essences. It took me a long time to get around to doing it. So I started them, I think it was, when was it? Last year, solstice last year, I made my first one. Wow. So my first one was Ascension. That's that one there.
Okay.
All right. I've now got 5, and there's a new one coming soon, and I'll tell you about that in a while.
I'm going to put this on because we want people to be able to find you, don't we? So we'll put that on there. It's quite a big banner, but there you go. A little bit like that. Have you got any other ones? You got one for courage, haven't you?
Should I just tell you how I made them?
Tell us a little bit about them, because I'm sure people will be interested in them.
Yeah. All right. So what I did was in each for each essence, I went on my own journey with them. Before I even created them, and this is kind of links in with homeopathy, really, when you're taking a remedy blind, like if you're taking part in what we call a proving, so it's a control. So I'm already in the energy of it. So for each essence, I went on my own journey with it, and I had to do my own clearing and my own healing, and also raising my vibe too, so that I could bring something useful into the world. But it helped me understand how each essence would be able to help people. And obviously it's different for each person will experience it differently, but there will be some general themes running through. So for each one, when I got to point to making them, I used spring water, and I did my transmissions outside in nature. I always picked selected the place carefully.
Wow.
And I did 2 paintings for each one, so with light codes as well. Okay, so we're painted and drawn. And then basically what I did was I imprinted the water with the images and obviously my transmissions in nature. And then I have to add alcohol to each one just to keep the water clean. And that was it, really. That's it. Wow. So it's a bit of a journey.
Well, you say that's it, really, but there was quite a lot of steps leading up to the essence, wasn't there? And I think that's really cool.
It's a lot of work. It's actually quite a lot. You're right. It's a lot of work goes into it, and I can't rush it. And I just get guided when to do the next one. So I'll show you what I've got. So, excuse me.
Have a little look. I'll just go on. I'm going to just take this off for a minute so we can see it. I'm going to have to change the banner so they're a bit smaller. There we go. So what's this one?
That's the first one. That's Ascension. Okay, so that's really supportive right now with the big changes on the planet, and also helping you to align with your higher timeline to get you where you need to be. So it could be that there's a relationship you need to end, or you need to move location or change jobs. It will give you the support around that, and then once you're there, it will keep you focused. That's simple. That's on a simple level. I also feel this with one of the other essences helps with any ascension symptoms that you're experiencing. So a lot of people as you know, physical symptoms where we're embodying more light. Then the next one I did was love, which is pretty easy to figure out what that's about. That one, I've sold more of that than any of them. A lot of heart healing, helps with healing any unresolved relationships. So anything perhaps from the past or around you. And just to get the bigger picture, to understand, really get the lessons and understand fully what it's about so you can move on. Also a lot around self-love, because that's one of the things that people find really difficult, because we're programmed not to love ourselves, aren't we? So it's and I've had some people come back and they've gone into new relationships as a result of this essence. So that's
Wow.
great.
Wow,
Cool.
beautiful, beautiful.
And then peace. Peace.
Woohoo!
I did that in the New Forest last Christmas at a friend's lovely, beautiful home. So that does what it does. This really good for helping you sleep deeply, or if you're going through any really big challenges. Yeah, I mean, I use this one quite often. I come back to this one. Really good for helping you get into a deep sleep. It really quietens the nervous system and the mind, because it stops all the chatter. And some people said it's helped them have more compassion for other people. So kind of coming back into that place of stillness, and then again being able to see everything through the eyes of love, or
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
Like that. Through the eyes of love.
Yeah.
And so how do people take them? You know, how often do you have it? How many drops do you have? Where do you put it on your tongue? Or just straight, you know?
Yeah, I'll tell you. There's another. Shall I just tell you quickly another one?
Yeah, sorry.
No, don't worry, because I know we've got time. We've got
plenty of time. Don't worry.
All right. So earth. I felt that would be good to help people ground. Obviously, and a lot of light workers, starseeds, find it difficult to be in the body. It does help with the ascension symptoms as well, and it's also it works on root issues. So like money issues, survival issues. It gives a lot of help there. And ancestral clearing as well. So if you're the person that's come into the world partly to clear your ancestors' karma, that will help you. Yeah. Okay.
Very useful.
And then courage.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah, that's my latest. But there's another, and I love this one too. So that. It's having the courage to step forward, to speak your truth. So people have like been able to speak up with love and nicely and say things that they've previously just not had the courage to do. And it ignites your passion as well. I've really noticed that. It's just helping me re-access those parts of me I had when I was younger, you know, like going dancing and, you know, whatever. But it will be different for each person. And in this essence, I'm also used the energy from 2 stones that a good friend of mine brought back from Mongolia.
Okay.
She's a phenomenal person, and it's a whole big story, but I won't go into it all now. But she's an ice hiker. She climbs glaciers.
Wow.
And she circumnavigated a lake, a frozen lake in Mongolia. And then she spent time on an island with shamans, and she brought me 2 stones back. And I've got a connection with Mongolia from another time where I was a shaman. So energy of those stones was used with this as well, which is not something I've done before with the essences. Yeah.
Wow.
So I have another one coming. And
whoa, come on. Tell us about it.
Well, I haven't got a label for it yet. What do you reckon it might be?
Gosh, got me on the spot there. Courage, love, maybe joy. No, go on, joy.
Did you say joy? No, but I'm thinking about that. But it's not that. Yeah, that's in the queue. That one.
Okay. So you're gonna tell us
Abundance. Abundance. Right, that's the label. The label's gone to print, but that's my very roughly written label. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's coming. So I have instructions on the sides in taking them, Dave. You can put a bit like a bush flower essence. You can put them under your tongue. You could add it to your water. Okay. If there's alcohol in it, and that puts some people off, but I don't know a safer way to make these essences right now. I mean, I could use glycerin and apple cider vinegar, but I think a lot of people they're not going to like that. So if you don't want it in your body, you could put it on your wrist. One of my friends puts 1 or 2 drops in her smoothies. Someone else I know, she used the love essence. She put it on her worktops and wiped the white worktops down when there was some family drama. So I think you just be creative with them. You know, put it in your navel, put them on your feet. You don't want to put, if you don't like the taste of alcohol. So, but yeah, there's no rights and wrongs. I always ask people, or suggest, and it's on the label too, just use your intuition as well. So
it's a good idea. I love the fact, you know, that you know, I'm a big believer in, because a big percentage of that is water, with the transmission and everything else connected with it. And we know how powerful words are on bottles, like with love or air, will also have that effect, won't it?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah.
I mean, I've got a water bottle and it's got like love, joy, and all that sort of stuff written on it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because I believe it helps structure the water. There's been so many experiments done with it to show that it seems to be doing that. So it's really cool.
Oh no, you're absolutely right, because that's what's his name, Emoto.
Yeah.
That, you know, that's kind of how as homeopaths, how we explain how homeopathy works for people. Yeah, the word is, and you even just your intention from your heart into the water, whatever it may be.
There's a lady actually going off, digressing a little bit. There's a lady in New Zealand called Vida Austin, and she's been working with water for a number of years. And she gets like a Petri dish with about 2 or 3 mil of water in it, so it freezes really quickly. She can put that Petri dish of water before it's frozen on top of a pitcher for like, I don't know, a minute, whatever. And then she can put it in the freezer. And when she gets it out the freezer, she can see the pitcher in the ice, whereas the water has actually took on the pitcher. And it's very popular. I actually bought some Petri dishes and started doing it myself. It's quite fascinating, actually, looking at the ice, you know, trying to like spot things and stuff like that. It's really, really good. So now you've explained about your essences and everything. Tell us a bit more about like the paintings you do. Maybe if you've got one to hand, you can show us one. And what sort of compelled you to do that? Are you just sort of naturally artistic and creative, and you just wanted to use that in that way? Or show us one of your pictures, Siobhan.
What would you say?
I've got a friend who draws us like mandalas and stuff, and she takes ages doing them, and it's
Yeah, they're beautiful, aren't they?
Can you actually buy these paintings you do? Can you actually do them for people if they wanted them?
I can do an individual paintings. Okay. And I've been thinking about perhaps doing something digitally that could be downloaded. So if people keep an eye on my website, then that will be coming at some point. But going back to what you said about Vida Austin and putting the Petri dish, that's really how I make the essences, because that bowl will sit on the image for each one. Yeah, so that's one that I've done. One I did earlier.
Hey, here we go. It up a little bit more. That's better. Yeah, we can see that.
So you can see, if I go closer, you can. I mean, I have been sharing this a lot on.
Is that the actual language? Look like squiggles.
You've got. They're all codes of light in there.
Okay.
Yeah. So in each one will be is individual. Yeah. So if I did one for you, it would be just for you. So you could say to me, "Oh, I'd like an image, Siobhan, for I don't know." Just that's aligned with my soul, or to support my journey, or have a specific intention. And I don't even know what it's going to look like. It's a bit like when I speak light language or sing it.
You don't know what you're gonna transmit, maybe sometimes.
No, the energy just flows, and I start, and the image builds and builds and builds, and I take a lot of time over them, you know. And I've got one actually in my room that I made for myself. And this one, Dave, I did it really, really quickly. Literally, I've done it in about 10 minutes. And it's
Wow.
quite simple. I sit with that in the morning and I put my hand on my heart and I put my hand on the image. And it's really, really powerful, that one. So that's just really, really amplify my energy, but it just takes me straight into the cosmos, into my multi-dimensional self. It's a really it's almost like a portal, and I would say a lot of these are portals, and some people see them as like starships, and effectively they are. So, yeah.
Well, what we, you know, the all of this has obviously helped you tremendously, because you've got such a beautiful energy. You're such a lovely lady, and you know, committed to what you do and stuff. It's refreshing, you know.
Thank you.
And, yeah, no, it's absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
Shall I tell you how I got to start drawing?
Yeah, tell us.
Because thank you so much for what you've said. I mean, I've done a lot of work on myself because I've had to. But I am totally committed to my journey, to being of service and doing what I can to help people at this time and going forwards. But basically, I went back to live with my parents, and I love them dearly. They not too mad on the light language.
How old was you when you did that?
It's only a couple of years ago.
Oh, really?
Ago, right? So mum, a bit more open to it. Dad totally freaks him out. So I wasn't free. I wasn't free to go around the house and sing. So I'd just do it when they weren't home. But I literally started to draw. Now, I'll just go back in reverse a bit. I mentioned Jamie at the very beginning, the light language, Jamie Price. Well, I did. I was already using light language, but I actually met her in Sweden in 2019, and she did a course of light language, so helping activate. It was the most phenomenal experience, and it helped me understand it more. Well, back then there was one exercise with us to write light language, and mine was appalling. Well, I thought it was appalling. And she looked at it and she said, "Oh, there's a beginning of a language there," but I think she was just being kind. So over the years, I sort of every so often I'd pick up a notepad and I'd start to, to write and see what came, but it never really flowed. So it wasn't until I went back there and then to my family home and I just started again. And that's when the images came. So I'm so grateful to my dad in particular. And he loves my images now, of course. But, and I understand.
Of course.
Really
it's very different, isn't it? You know, there you are talking in a completely different language, a language most people have never heard before, and I'm sure your dad was thinking you'd gone bonkers or something.
Yeah, I think he thinks I'm a bit bonkers anyway, but I think it was. I think it was. It's fear. People can be fearful of it.
Yeah. Well, I think people like people on this journey in general. A lot of people think we're bonkers because it's so different to that groove again, that normal groove that unfortunately so many billions of people are still stuck in. But it's all changing very slowly, or maybe quickly. Yeah, what the hell?
Oh, well, I think exactly. Good, Dave. Bring it on. It's definitely.
It is. It's like a jet plane. That's what I meant to say.
And I think, like you talking about my energy, your energy is incredible. You're just such a joy, aren't you? Such a joy. And that's the way to navigate this world if you can, and be a little bit crazy, because
it is, to be fair.
Yeah.
I go into Tesco's and they'll say, "Oh, how are you, Dave?" And I'll say, "I'm amazing. You wouldn't believe it." And they go, "What's happening?" I go, "I'm breathing." It's like I'm having a great time. And it's one of them things as well, because like spiritual people, they have to navigate through crap in life like anybody else. But I think when you get on this journey, whichever direction you go in, it's very helpful, isn't it? We I don't know, it just seems to, I would never be on a different. I wouldn't never go back to, you know, being in that groove of not knowing, and, you know, never. And if there is such a thing as coming back again, I certainly want to come back with at least what I'm thinking now about life. I don't want to come back going back. Do you know what I mean? That would be, well, I wouldn't know anyways, probably. Unless you went to see someone like you and say, well, in this life you were this, and you were like, oh, really? You know? But yeah, it's interesting. And before we close up, you're going to do a little light language transmission.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
We're going to be excited about that.
What do you think people need right now? If anyone's watching, I mean, I will do a bit of heart healing or heart opening, but I don't know if anyone has any particular requests. I mean, it's a bit of a rocky time out there at the moment, so just bring people into alignment, back into their knowing. What do you reckon? Should I?
Yeah, you know, it's like that. You know, that one of the main problems in the world, I mean, there's no such thing as problems in my concept of life in truth, but is people just aren't able to see what's going on. You know, they're in that deep groove, so people do definitely need to wake up more. And I mean, people watching this will probably be, you know, will be like, similar to ourselves, because it'd be of interest to them, you know. So I don't know. So go with your intuition.
Okay. Well, let's just see. Okay. I'll just bring in a bit more love and a bit of enlightenment. I'm going to turn my light off because it's oh, you can be still reflecting.
I can still see you, Siobhan.
Never mind.
We're all excited in anticipation. So whenever you're ready, you can.
Okay. All right.
No pressure.
All
so
right.
People that are watching, do you want them to like close their eyes or?
Yeah, guys, you can either sit down or you could lie down if you want. It will be a short transmission, but it will be powerful. So yeah, I'll just guide you in. So everybody on the call or watching another day, just close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale through your mouth. Relax your shoulders, just really drop it into your body. And either feel your feet against the earth, against the floor, or just connect your base, your coccyx with your seat. So just really grounding in your body. And then take another deep breath in and exhale. And then just consciously just drop into your heart space. You can put one or both hands on your heart center if that feels good for you. It's generally very comforting. And just tap into your light, into your divine essence. All that beauty, wisdom, and love that you hold. And just be open to receiving light language to support you. And just feel that in your heart center. Pichimolayan tortar tai kapikana chopaki kartorata savartala torate. Emonacha balake pukarate lokokore tikartarat. Itikanot shipika waka hat shipikulat silikartam. Imonia pokamane komareti kavate koratirat. Shimankorta balleto kaparte kapar katirat chonata. Just bringing a bit more space into the heart. Olardia romaniat chichukacheta chukachatur tabatikartu lorut. Inirvasalla kayama chender toka ache. Durvalari angorta manikiera batusante shamang irva ahawa initikalono tusal amakalatur tasat. Kiman shabay inturva a irvurta kavurtika atkutirkofatat. Inete mensal gitarshe tachichertas kulturtatam. Minor toribikirrat silikortos valekechat. Kiman ai or dal indurbatim. Imort kibikar tukutukutarte kitikatarte shama lenya koka katika. Ikvartana esham ai it kuat. Omanat kata ohar tuk ohachikata ekaratai. Nichon irvet urbet injarit. Ishmari ik ven al tur ak ertushat. O eru tayo And then just slowly coming back to yourself. Take another breath in. Just allow all that beautiful energy to move through you, through your bodies, all the way down to the soles of your feet. And just tap into how you're feeling now. When you're ready, come back into your space. Your time.
Woohoo! I feel good, actually. I feel very relaxed. Hope people out there enjoyed that little transmission, and the people that are going to be watching the recorded video on YouTube, of course. Thank you so much for doing that with us, Siobhan. Really appreciate it. Lovely.
Pleasure.
And if anyone wants to contact Siobhan for, let's get this on, for whatever, an essence, a light language session, everything else that you do, Siobhan, they can find you there, yeah?
I can.
You are going to be updating your website at some point soon with your latest essence. And I'm sure there'll be many more as well. So that's really cool.
There's more offerings coming, and yeah, I've got some events as well.
So, yeah, tell us about the events before we wrap up.
I'm trying to remember what I've got coming up now. I've got a class on next Thursday. I run a meditation and light language class generally every other Thursday. This one is about your soul calling. So just if you're not quite there yet and need a little bit of help, it's an hour class. So that's on Thursday evening. I'm doing an activation class early September. So if you're feeling the call to transmit light language, that's a class, I think it's on from about 10 till 3. And then I've got some other events coming up. I'm doing something in Bournemouth on the 28th, which will be a meditation class, very relaxing, very loving. So have a look. I can't remember what else I've got on there. I've got some other things.
Okay, they can find all these things on your website.
Everything's on the website, yeah. The other thing I wanted to say to Dave and everyone watching is with these transmissions, so like I've just done a little short transmission there for you. Sometimes it might be good to watch with your eyes open because I'm signing as well, like that code. But also when you re-listen, you may have a different experience. So it could initiate more healing or take you to a different place or raise your consciousness in some ways. So there can be a very subtle shift as you're moving each time. So just admit that. Okay.
Good information. Thank you so much for that, Siobhan. Yeah. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up there, Siobhan. I think it's been fantastic, very interesting. I'm sure everyone watching found it fascinating, and I'm sure the people that are going to be watching it going forward will find it fascinating. Well, what can I say? Except thank you so much for coming on the Chat with a Therapist.
Thank you.
I just want to say to everyone that are watching, thank you, and thank you for the comments. Louisa has just said it was energy lifting, so that's wonderful. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Louisa. And for everyone else watching, thank you so much. We'll be back again. I haven't got a guest lined up as of yet, but I'm sure I'll advertise it. So if you want to tune in again, it'd be an absolute joy. And well, thank you so much, Siobhan.
Thank you so much, Dave, for having me on here. Such a pleasure to talk to you, as always. Okay.
Love it. Okay, everybody, we're off now, and I hope you have a beautiful evening, everybody, and a beautiful week. And yeah, just enjoy life. Keep smiling. All right.